before. Like, hold a bitch, I been dope. Chain smoking, I'm smoking out the window. Oh, you wanna hit my endo? Better get
have a great MC today. You know what I'm saying? I checked this guy out. He was live at Firewater. You know what I mean? He did some dope ass shit. You know what I mean? Smooth dude. You know what I'm saying? The homie Jay from the Nine.
What up, man? What up,
Yo,
man?
AJ from the Nine, my guy. What's up, baby? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you reaching out. Yeah, just the love is always appreciated. So I had to come down here and fuck with you guys real quick. So yeah,
Absolutely, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna take it to the beginning, man. We always wanna share, you know what I'm saying, how you got into music. You know, it's always important for people to actually see, you know what I mean, that journey. So how was your journey in the beginning, man? Not when you actually did your first song or nothing like that, but when you actually got inspired by, you know what, I can make some music now.
well,
Talk about that.
the crazy thing is I'm really not like a lot of these rappers. A lot of these rappers is they grew up in high school and listening to music and started rapping then, and it's like, bro, like I literally have been infatuated with rap music since I was like 2-3 years old. Dubbing cassette tapes, like back in the 90s, 1996, like 97. I remember being in preschool, like trying to like sleep, and the teachers are talking about Biggie getting shot, and I'm like, what? Biggie got shot? Like, and I'm the only, like, I'm like obviously a 4-year-old, like at the time, like nobody else know about this, right? So it's like, I grew up around hip hop for real, and so from Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, The Brat was actually my first favorite rapper, which is kind of crazy
too.
because Funkified was just like a record that resonated with me as a kid. So I know that entire first album front to back. I a lot of Bad Boy was in my, I grew up on a lot of Bad Boy, 112, Biggie, Mace, all that. So Jay-Z. So my influences come from like the 90s. Well, my early influences come from the 90s, but so I've always been dubbing cassettes and just part of that engineering type thing, making mixtapes and things like that. So I remember like my mom, I had seen a mic when I was in like Sears when I was like 7, and so begged my mom to give me the mic, and so from there I was like, I had so many CD singles, so I was just mumbling over instrumentals, not even really rapping, just kind of like doing flows and stuff like that. So I've done that for a while, and then kind of like it kind of took a back kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit because of the fact that like Eminem was the only white rapper. So before that, it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of fun. I don't know if I could really get in the game like that, you know what I mean? And so it wasn't until like Eminem and 50 came out, and it was just like, this is dope. I want to start writing my lyrics and stuff. So like when I was 12, 13, like around 2004, 2005, I tried to like write, and then it wasn't until like 2006 I was actually like rapping for my friends and doing little freestyle, at ciphers at lunch and things like that. So I lived in, so first off, I'm from Rialto.
Shout out to Rialto, man.
I lived all over the IE. For a brief period of time, I lived with my grandparents in Reno, and then when I came back down, I went to Rialto High, and that was where it really jumped off. I met my homie Andrew, and he had a home studio, and so from the get-go, like we just started like working on music, and that was the first time I was actually able to really record my music and learn how to record my music and put stuff together. And so we'd have ran like mixtape after mixtape, like 16, 20 different mixtapes all together, like from like 2006, 2007 all the way up until like 2010. So it really goes all the way back. After that, like after I got out of high school, it was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna try to take this serious. I spent a good like 4 years trying to craft a whole album, and during that time, that's when I linked up with Black Kennedy.
Nice.
And then shout out to 1-6 and Protege for really jumping me on board, Young Sino as well. And so from there, it's pretty much been up. I dropped Double Cup Swisher Blunts 1, which was I had already had that done by the time I got on Black Kennedy. We just kind of finished it up.
You were in high school when that happened?
So I graduated 2010.
Okay.
So out of high school, that's when I started trying to actually make my own beats as well. And so a lot of the production on the first part of Double Cups is...
what high school you go to?
I went to Rialto High, I went to Rancho High, and I graduated at Edawanda.
Hey, shout out to all of them, man.
Yeah. So...
dope, bro.
Yeah, I've been around for a minute. So.
That's super sick, bro. Especially somebody like, like yourself, you know what I'm saying, that's been around for a long time, studying the game, building you know what I'm saying, yourself as a rapper, as an MC, you know what I mean? So you went from the early beginnings, and now when you wrote your first song, you know what I mean, what inspired you to write your first song? You know what I mean? And how did that go?
So I don't even remember how I got on the website, but it's I was on blackeyedpeas.com.
Okay.
And they had a forum, and there's people writing raps on there, and I was like, let me try, because I had one rap written, and I was like, let me post this in here. And I did like a forum, like, can you rap or whatever, and it was basically just me putting my verse here, and I was just like inviting other people to share their verses or whatever they had. And this thing went on for a good like year or two, forum thread, whatever, and I was kind of deeply involved within that little forum community, so that kind of really jump started me to really write and really put myself like, thinking like, okay, I could probably do this. And then like I said, it wasn't until I met my homie Andrew, who had a home studio, that I was like, this is totally possible. We could really actually make this stuff happen. So
that's dope.
Especially back then, because it wasn't like everybody knew about home recording and things like that. Like everyone thought like to be an artist you had to be signed. You had to
Remember that, bro?
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, and then when you see people that were independent artists, it was like, how do you do that? And then they're like, I got this program, I got this and that, and it was just like, as a 12, 13-year-old, I'm like, it was inconceivable to me.
Absolutely,
so,
bro.
But nowadays it's like, bro, like all you need is, like I said, like all you really need is a computer, just a simple recording program, and you can make it happen. You just need the education, trying to figure out how to work the software and know how to use it right. But I mean, it could literally be done. Like when I first recorded, I was recording off an MP3 player.
Wow.
So I would hit the record, I would have it playing somewhere else, and then I would transfer it over and put it together. Obviously, the sound quality was crap, but
yeah,
that was how I first started and learning how to record music and put it on a computer and kind of put it together.
Okay, so your first song that you put together, that you're like, you know what, I'm actually gonna put this on wax, right? You're gonna record it, you're gonna put it out there. You know what I'm saying? What was that first song? You remember that?
It was called Hardcore Rhyming, and I don't remember the lyrics, but
damn, okay.
It's not nothing special, bro. Like my early records was nothing special, and that's something that I think a lot of people can understand. Is like, your first song might not be the best song, it might not be good, but that repetition is what's gonna keep you growing and make you better. Had I not done any of that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So it's like, you kind of have to go, like, bro, I honestly say I wasn't, I had some good songs maybe in like 2008, 2009, right? But where I had potential in that music, and it wasn't until after high school that I felt like I was like getting there. Like
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so like 2010, 2011 is kind of when I had something. It was just really trying to find out my sound and find out what I was trying to do. And so when right out of high school, I did a mixtape called Freemason, which was kind of just what do you call it, a shock value type thing.
Yeah.
Name it Freemason, see what people think, like, you know what I mean? Because especially back then, everyone was talking about Illuminati and all this stuff. So it was more of a thing, just like a attention grabber. But basically the music itself was, me and my homie Scott B, we worked on like 80 songs, and we picked like 15 of the best ones that when we put it out. I've since put out like a 10-year anniversary edition with a lot more records, of like 72 songs on the full deluxe. But basically, like, yeah, we kind of just went through so many types of music. I was doing pop music, I was doing trap music, I was doing R&B, I was doing function club music back in the day. Like,
you're a real musician, bro.
Yeah, I was really trying to branch out, and I want to be diverse too. Like, I want people to be able to be like, you can't really expect one type of record from me. And I noticed that too, even with now, like with my last two albums, 9 p.m., 9 a.m., it was kind of like a duality thing, where it's like, I really feel like hip hop and rap is two different genres. You got rap, like, and I mean, the Drake and Kendrick thing is kind of like the epitome of that. Kendrick is hip hop, Drake is rap. And you know, like, that's kind of how I stylize these albums. 9 p.m. is more of a rap formulated club type music, and then 9 a.m., where it does have some club music on it, it's more geared towards the hip hop heads towards the second half of the album. And I noticed that those songs really do resonate more than maybe my club records.
Yeah,
I just like making the club records better, but that's just me personally. And so I understand that there's certain sounds I have, certain music that I make that resonates better, and so I gotta start looking and trying to pull out my strengths and identifying those, and kind of being like, okay, well, I don't really like, I can do this, but I don't really do this. So it's like, I can make it happen, and I can appease people, so I can branch my audience out. So.
Absolutely, and that's totally dope that you just said that, because a lot of artists are one dimensional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could only just do one type of music. They could only do one type of beat. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that you said that. You know what I'm saying? Because now I know that you could actually master multiple beats. Just like my boy Destruct, that he was the last guy that came here. He told me, you know what, I like to do this.
He's dope as hell.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that, bro. So now, you know what I'm saying, in that particular time, you know what I mean, what inspired, as far as the people that were around you, who inspired you to actually, you know what I mean, create these sounds? Was it you're on your own base, or was it somebody, you know what, you know what I mean, that told you, yeah, man, let's try this, let's try that?
So like, my lyrics didn't have really much punchlines for a while. My homie Andrew, he went by the name Example back in the day. So
Dope.
he kind of had like that, just like that 50 Eminem type vibe, and so it was like I was learning punchline etiquette and things like that from him. But his homie, my homie Cash Jones, he was a older homie from Compton, and he was the one that really was like back in the day, bro. Like, and he was my favorite rapper back in the day, for real. His punchline, his influences like Fabulous, Jeezy, and Wayne. So,
wow, okay.
So his style of rap was really more just like barred up, and he was the one that really showed me how to really try to put these records together and try to like be like, nah, you gotta really paint a picture for them. You could just tell them something, but if you really put in the punchline behind it, it's like it's gonna bring it to a whole different level.
Absolutely.
And so he was the one that really put me on Wayne. And this is like around the time 2007 and stuff like that. So Wayne was at his prime. I was really digging in. I was like, bro. But at that time, I'm still an impressionable teenager. I listened back to some of those songs. I'm like, man, I really wanted to sound like Wayne. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you gotta understand you have influence, but you also gotta understand how to make it your own. Because I listen to some of the songs and I'm just like, this is kind of hard, but I'm just going too hard with the spazzing out. Like, I was like really trying to sound like Wayne, and so it just took some time. Like I said, like after I got out of high school, and I was around other artists outside of my initial camp, which is like Six and Protege and them. They was kind of like the other ones I was seeing in the IE. That was like, damn, they got a little movement going. I was like, I kind of want like Black Kennedy. That sound hard. Like, I was like, okay, cool. And it wasn't like I was kind of keeping an eye out. I was like, man, I'm really trying to like mess around and trying to get on some shit like that. And so it wasn't until I did my song "Sip Until I Feel It," reached out, tried to get Sino, one of their artists, on the song. Six jumped on it, and we had done songs before too, me and Six. And then from there, it kind of jumped off. Sino and Six wanted me to be part of Black Kennedy. I was like, all right, this is cool. Now I got a real team to really push this music. Because back when it was me, Andrew, Cash Jones, and my homie Espanto, we were around, but nobody was on the same page.
Absolutely, I get what you're saying.
With me and Andrew, we were always on the same page. We were pulling up the shows, we were doing all this stuff, but with Cash Jones and Espanto being in the streets, they weren't around and as reliable. They were back and forth between LA here. My homie Espanto was selling, doing his jugs and stuff like that, and eventually he actually got deported.
Wow.
Back in like 2010, around there. He was selling some pills at EDC and got shipped out. So
wow.
It really, and then ever since then, it kind of put a riff in the whole thing, and so I kind of realized I gotta find my own way to kind of get things going.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of.
How important was it to find your own way? You know what I'm saying? How important was it to actually have the right people around you? You know what I'm saying? To push you to that next level. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we look for that motivation, right? We look for those people to actually motivate us and you know what I mean, put us in that next level. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have that best interest in, you know what I mean, what you're doing. But some people are going to believe in that. So how important is to have a good team around you?
100% important, because it's like my trajectory, it could have went so many different ways at so many different times. Like the reason why I went from Rancho Cucamonga High School to Etiwanda was because I got caught selling Xanax at the time. Okay. And I was also selling lean. That's not what I got expelled for, but I was sipping lean a lot of the time. My grades was dropping and stuff like that. So aside from my parents, like my dad, just kind of kicked my ass into shape. Like he's like, nah, bro, you got to get this going. And so just knowing that, like once that kind of happened, it kind of put my perspective into like, I'm not trying to mess around with the street. I'm just really trying to do this rap thing. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And so luckily, the people I had around me weren't necessarily like my homie Cash Jones and Espanto. Even though they were kind of halfway in the streets, they never put that on me. Or like, you gotta go do this, you gotta do that. So
which is cool.
I always had people around that understood that, you know, I had something, I had potential to be something. And it's like, bro, go after that, do that. And having like-minded individuals around you too, because at a certain point when Andrew had stopped rapping and I was still going, and I just was like, bro, I'm the only one on our little label that's kind of going.
That keep going.
And so I was like, I gotta find my own thing. And I had worked with a couple promoters and things like that. The team that they brought around, I was just like, I didn't really believe in them, which is kind of messed up to say, but it just, in reality, I didn't see the potential on that. So,
absolutely.
Leaving that and then getting with Black Kennedy, it kind of put me in a different mindset where it was like, I was kind of just doing music. I wasn't really going out. I wasn't really performing. I wasn't shooting videos. I was doing things a little bit here and there, but it wasn't until I got with Black Kennedy that they were able to kind of put me and boost my level up and kind of broaden my vision of like, nah, we could do this, bro. Like we have all of the resources.
The key elements.
We just need to really plug in and really get it going. So once I really linked up with Six and Pro and Black Kennedy, it was really the mindset that I saw with them that kind of inspired me to be able to go harder and bring my stuff to the next level. And so, you know, now I've done, I think I have something like 6 or 7 projects since I've been on Black Kennedy. So
wow, dope.
Yeah, it's just definitely kind of just the motivation.
And you're progressing, bro. I hear your music. I heard your music. Okay, so I done my research on AJ from the 9. You know what I'm saying? I done some shit where this guy was doing shit 12 years ago.
Right.
Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? The first thing I seen from him, it was 45 minutes from LA. That was the first little thing.
Yeah, so that was Joe Adana's record. And at that time I was trying to, you know, hustle some money, so I was shooting, you know, little videos here and there for like.
So that was your production.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was doing like I like to do a lot with color grading and things like that, blocking out colors, doing crazy things with just color and within video. That's kind of my main aspect. So, but yeah, I was kind of just doing that. And me and Joe, we've done records too. He was actually supposed to be on Sip Until I Feel It, but some things fell through and ended up getting Sino and Six on it. But there's a line on there where I say, I'm double cup with it, Joey Red Cup sipping. And so that's where that line comes up, because he had a song called Red Cup. And so he was doing like a big promo with that. But yeah, shout out to Joe Adana, he's out from Riverside. But yeah, that was kind of like one of the earliest ones. I think some of the other records off of Double Cups was kind of when I really started putting those records out. I think Everything Matching was one of my first official videos kind of that I still got up. But yeah, I think around that time it was like 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
So I had just dropped Freemason and I was I did some shows out in Anaheim at Club Ember. I opened up for KRS-One. I did some others. I was doing a couple other ones. I think we opened for Ray J at one point.
Wow.
It was like some club in Riverside, Club Flareon, and we were doing Sevilla's back when Sevilla's was around. The Vibe. So it was experience. That was for sure.
That's super dope, man. Because you know what I'm saying, you come from a high caliber of music. You know what I'm saying, within yourself. You know what I'm saying, within you wanting to find something better throughout the years. You know what I'm saying, I seen within your videos, you know what I mean, that you did stop for like a year or two,
right,
as far as music and shit like that. You know what I mean. But now let's get into the visuals side of it. You know what I mean? How was it when you actually, you know what? Because for me, at one particular time, it was impossible for me to do a visual. You know what I mean? Just because I didn't have the right people to do it. But when you got to do your first video, when you put it out, you know what I'm saying? How was that process like? And how did you feel when you actually put it out?
So, going back to like how when me and X were working on music back in like 2007, he was the one that was kind of like showing me like, no, we can shoot a video, we can do it this way. I got this camera, It's probably like a $400-$500 Canon or whatever. And we were shooting videos on our own. He was showing me how to do it on Vegas Studio. And so I've always kind of had that knowledge. We've done a couple videos in the past. So when I was doing my actual videos for Freemason and doing everything matching, and then I think we did, I did some other ones like Lala and I want to say we did Broken Promises, a couple other ones, right?
Yeah.
So from there, it was kind of like I had graduated high school. I got my Pell Grant. I was going to Chapey College, so my expenses on everything was like cheap. So basically, most of that money, I was able to set up my studio. I was able to get my, I got, like at that time, I was working with a MXL mic, like a $500 MXL mic.
Wow.
I got a new MacBook, and then I got the camera as well as a Canon 550D. So
hey,
entry level.
You guys need to write this down, guys. Whoever listens to this, gotta write this shit down.
It was entry level, so it was decent at that time anyway. So once I did that, it was kind of just like I understood that okay, I know the kind of equipment, the software I need, and stuff like that. And so once we did that, it was just kind of like, all right, let's get out in the field, let's get this going. And you know, for a while, it was just kind of like doing things like that in a indie kind of move. I think it wasn't until I got with Black Kennedy that they were like, no, we got to level it up a little bit more. Like these videos is cool, but let's reach out to a videographer. You know, I think we did with Kelly Bassett was like, I want to say it was like $300-$400 or something like that. It wasn't that much. And so he did the Sip Until I Feel video, and ever since then it was like, bro, I can't even go back to doing my own videos because I was like, bro, this is a whole different level.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until recently that I think we were working with I can't even remember. I'll get back to you with the kind of Canon model that we're working with right now. But it wasn't until recently that I was able to be like, okay, let's figure out like what do we need. And I think the camera that we're working with is I want to say it's an A7 or A6.
Wow.
Sony, and I think it was like 3,000.
Wow.
3 racks.
Oh so, shit. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's one of those things where it's like, bro, like we got it. We understand that. Eventually, we're going to need something like that.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, the price ain't going to go down anytime soon. So it's like, bro, like we ran it up. We got together, put our money together, and just made it happen. And so now it's like, yeah, we still reach out to other videographers to do our stuff. But if we're not in the budget of that, like I ain't got the $300-$400 right now to spend on a video plus the marketing that goes along with that. Let me just go ahead, shoot a video. Let's hit up the city real quick and just shoot some real quick on the fly and then put it together and put it out. Because the content got to keep going. You know what I mean? Like if you stop, and I've done this so many times where it's like I put something out and I'm running it up and then I kind of stay stagnant, and then when I come back to Instagram, Facebook, now I got to run the whole algorithm up.
Yeah.
Because now my stuff is dead. It's like, bro, I was just getting like 100 likes last month, and now I ain't done nothing, so now I'm only getting like the 25 and stuff like that.
Oh, you're getting a lot of plays on your videos too, bro.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's just really like learning how to, in this day and age, learning how to work around those algorithms, how to make the algorithm work for you, because that is another thing that's kind of like on the side that will bring an artist down if they're not consistent with it and they don't know how to do their social media right.
Absolutely. Okay, now it's perfect that you even touched base on that. You know what I mean? How important is marketing into what we were doing as far as MCs, as far as, you know what I mean, us putting ourselves out there, because we're independent artists. How important is marketing?
100%. Because if you look at it, think about it, I'm going to post this on my Instagram, right? First off, your Instagram's only going to show it to about like 10% of your followers.
Absolutely.
Secondly, those followers already follow you. Mm-hmm. They might have already heard that song. They heard the song, all right, cool. They're going to like it because they like it, right? But are you reaching anybody else? You know what I mean? And like, I mean, if you're having them share it, like that's one thing. Like, okay, you could do it if you get them to share it, and then people are reacting to that, right? But you still need to be able to reach an outside audience, somebody that you haven't, you know what I mean? Whether that's going out and doing it in the streets,
or paying ads,
and ads is the easiest one, because it's like, bro, like I could run a simple $15 ad on my Instagram post,
and you'll fucking reach somewhere else.
It's gonna reach, like it might not go super crazy, but it's gonna get you 1,000 views. It's gonna get you 2,000 views, and if your content, and that's another thing too, is that the content does got to be good, because you can get the views up and stuff like that, but really engaging content, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is kind of learning how to make my content more engaging, so that way I get more reaction in regards to what I put out and what I'm promoting. So, but ideally, yeah, I mean, it don't really cost, like, I'm not saying like you gotta have $500,000, which is good to have that kind of budget on a single.
Absolutely.
But ideally, like, if you only got $100, there's ways to make that money
Make that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that way you can reach a certain amount of people. I actually did that, you know what I mean? I reached people in fucking Australia, you know what I mean? Reached people in Canada, you know what I mean? I did that, and those shits work, because then at the analytics tell you, right? You know, where you're reaching and who's fucking with you. You know what I mean? So that's super cool what you said that. Now, moving on, you know what I'm saying, to, you know what I mean, the life performances now. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about, you know what I mean, your first beginnings. We talked about, you know what I mean, your videos, your visuals, how you felt about that. Now we're going to talk about your life performance. When somebody comes, you know what I mean, to see AG from the 9, what could they expect from a live performance from you?
Man, I like, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I feel like my performances could be better, like my stage presence could be better, but
hey, you sold me, dog. Hey, when I see you in Flower Water, homie, you sold me, dog. I was like, I need to get this guy into the podcast. This guy's dope. He has a dope sound. He's smooth with it.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that because I'm my worst critic.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I look at anything I do and I'm like, I could do that better. I could do this better. But I will say that when I do perform, my music is I don't want to say like turn up, but like I'm gonna give you that turn up. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you some turn up music. I'm gonna give you some hip hop. I'm gonna give you, you know, some bars, and I'm gonna give you some vibes. So that's kind of what I do, and everything I do is I try to make sure that within my set list, I'm gonna be able to have somebody vibing to at least one of those songs.
Absolutely.
You know, I like I said, I do a lot of different types of music, so I like to showcase that within my set list.
Quick question: have you only done shows here in Cali, or have you done it also outside of Cali?
Let me think. No, I think I've only done shows in Cali. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your best response as far as your Cali shows, and your worst response as far as your Cali shows?
Man, I've heard crickets. I think that's the worst. It's just not like. And
it happens, fool. And it happens.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? But I've never gotten booed off stage. I've never done. You know what I mean? Like I've never gotten that bad, right? But I think I'm trying to think of like one of my best. Ghost, what would you say that one of the best shows was?
Club Blue.
Club Blue. Okay.
Club
Blue. Yeah.
What was the vibe? I want you to talk to me about the vibe that day.
That one was that was a packed show, and actually. Nice. And then I'm gonna get into this because this right here is a big topic too, whether or not to perform with the show mix or not. So, me personally, I do not like playing with the show mix because there's so many other factors that could potentially bring down your performance. The mic setup, you know, the venue, things like that. So
you don't like performing with the voice in the back, or you do?
I do. I'd rather have it in the back because if anything messes up. If anything messes up, my backing vocal's still there, and they're gonna still be able to hear what I said.
Yeah.
With the Club Blue performance, and it was the response was great. There was some issues with the mic, and the mic was on top of that was low. So I'm performing with the I think we did Just Vibin'. We did Just Vibin', and that's just a straight through. I'm just gassing up the whole song, and the mic was cutting out a couple times. So people are vibing, and then you can't hear a couple bars and things like that. And I'm just like thinking like, bro, like they have no idea what I just said right there. But just keep going. But I mean, all in all, that was a really good club response. The club was packed. I had, you know, females on the side vibing with it.
Dope.
I had, you know, people getting up out of their seats, coming to the front. So that was probably like one of my best performances. I think I had several ones that had a similar situation, but yeah.
Definitely the one in Firewater for sure, bro. That was recent, you know what I mean? And that's when I seen you, and you were doing your thing, bro. You were, you know what I'm saying, you were vibing out. The song that you did that particular day was super dope. You know what I'm saying? I knew you mentioned it.
I think we did Drink in My Cup, What's the Topic, and Whenever I Want. I think those were the 3 songs. I think we did more. I did more than that. I did because I had like a 4 or 5 song set. So I think there was a couple other ones that we did.
You did your thing.
Yeah.
You did your motherfucking thing, bro. And I was definitely impressed. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? We need to get this guy to the podcast. You know what I mean? Not anybody can come up here, bro. You know what I mean? You have to have some kind of talent.
Right.
You have to have some kind of bars. You have to have some kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I see you working. And that was the most important thing for me to see. That you're working, that you're believing yourself, most of all. You know what I mean? Now, let me ask you a question. You know what I mean? For people that, you know what I mean, don't know your music, don't know you pretty much, where could they find your music and where could they look for you? Let them know.
So, once again, I go by the name of AJ from the 9. All my handles on all my social media is AJ from the 909. And that's like Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all that. Not Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, all that. I do have a website, ajfromthe9.com. We also got blackkennedy.com. And as far as music goes, I'm on all major distributions. So Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube.
AJ from the 9.
Yeah.
AJ from the 9. That's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? So now we're getting to the part where, you know what I'm saying, we're going to showcase your talent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're going to put you on the mix, you know what I mean?
All right.
We're going to put some beats on for you. You know what I'm saying? It might be 2, it might be 3, it might be some random shit. You know what I mean? We're going to showcase your talent, and that's what it's all about, man. You ready?
Yeah, let's get it. Shout out Cuban, I don't need to sing. Hey, let the city see me with the shit. Maybe it's not this big drink. I sit on the rock. I have prescription and I'm mixed like tripped up. Know what I'm talking about. Now in the city, being lit, I could still buy now. It's all I say, and I never pretend. I was sipping lean for the head. Yeah, had to put it down. I was fucking up bullshit. Shot a busted down. She been running up bullshit. Put a check on my neck. Got a ice box in my chest. Got a wrist much my foot. I let it work. No, I gotta get it. All I got is shot it. Listening when I got it. Drop the side out loud. Racking up the digits. All about my business. I'm falling down. In a competition and there's no cap. But I got them tripping on the road. Like a ride in it. Some ride music. Be calm with it. Keep it up. Down with it. Need a Jesus piece and a fine bit. My Jesus piece. Whoa, popping up. I got some time with me. Popping up. I got a time with me. Bad bitch in a couple with it. Coach bad but she needs a fitty. Whipping marrow, but I need a Bentley. Said I'm whipping marrow, but I need a Bentley.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Fucking 9.
Get my album 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you go. Once again, you go to ajfromthe9.com or blackkennedy.com to get all of it. So, yeah, let's get it.
AJ from the fucking 9, man. You heard it here first. Coronau podcast, West Coast Bar Service. You know what I mean? We out here, baby. Let's get it. You know what I mean? If you haven't heard my boys, you know what I'm saying, stuff, you guys have to hear it. This one is
That was 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Make sure you guys get this album. Absolutely dope. And he has 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Make sure you fucking hear both of them, man. Support my boy AJ from the 9. You feel me?
Yeah, if you like more hip hop, boom bap type thing, you gonna want 9 a.m. If you like to turn up, then you gonna want 9 p.m. But they all got bangers on it, for real.
Absolutely, man. Fuck with my boy AJ from the 9. You know what I'm saying? Now, AJ from the 9. Another question I have for you, man, which is very important. How do you mix your, you know what I'm saying, your regular life with your rap career? You know what I mean? Because we all have jobs, we all have shit that we have to do. But how do you mix both, man?
I'm busy as hell, bro. I work 7 days a week. I got 2 jobs. I work 7 days a week.
I appreciate that you got off today, man, because you told me, hey, I got off today to come fuck with you. So
yeah, for real. I mean, like, it kind of just comes down to it, like, how are you able to invest in your music? If you're able to, you know, do things on the side or whatever and make that work for your music, that's cool. But for me, the way I do it is I run it up as much as I can, like. You know, I'm always busy, but my off time, like literally I got 3 jobs. So like on my off time, it's my 3rd job, it's my music. So like whatever off time I got, we shooting videos, we doing shows, we linking up with the crew, we're recording. So
you're never off?
I'm never off. My free time is my music. So
that's absolutely good.
You're
so busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's super important, man, for motherfuckers that are, you know what I mean, they're home, they're stagnant. You know what I mean? You're waiting for an opportunity. Man, fuck that. You need to be like my boy from AJ from the
It
Nine,
ain't,
man.
it ain't going to come knocking at your door, so you got to get up and get it.
You know what I'm saying?
For real, for real.
So now let me ask you a question. You know what I'm saying? What inspirational words do you have for the upcoming artists that want to do what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? What inspirational words do you got for them? Maybe they want to give up. Maybe they don't want to continue to do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting the feedback that they're getting. You know what I mean? What advice do you have for those individuals?
I would just say everything happens for a reason. That's my goal in life, and it kind of, any shortcomings or any kind of dips in the road or anything like that, it's a minor setback for a major comeback. That's how I look at it. And so you could either learn from it and learn how to maneuver afterwards and kind of find your way around it, or you could kind of just sit there and be stuck and not move nowhere. So it's kind of like, if you want to elevate, it's up and down all throughout this when it comes to this kind of lifestyle, when it comes to making music and things like that, it ain't gonna be the best of the best, and yay ice cream, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gotta kind of just keep it going, bro. Like if you stuck on certain things in the past, or you stuck on like, I can't get this right, it's like, bro, we in the digital age. You can figure it out. Like, there's ways to figure things out. Like, if you're stuck on something, bro, figure out how to get around it.
Google that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, really though. So it's like, I think nowadays there's really no excuse for you not to learn from a mistake and kind of keep moving. So consistency is key. That is 100%.
You know what I mean? One of the people that I like to interview is people that have longevity in this business. You know what I'm saying? AJ from the Nine is not just, a dude that just came into the scene, last year or the year before. This guy's been working on his craft now, since the last video I seen was 12 years ago. You know what I mean? So I've been working on my craft for a motherfucking, you could say 20 years, you know what I mean? And I took my stuff serious, maybe 3-4 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes that, that time.
And it's never too late. It's never too late, because that's another thing too. Is like, there's probably people out there that's like, yeah, I'm good at rapping. I kind of that's just something I do, whatever. And it's like, bro, if you really put your mind to it, you could level that up to something crazy, something that you wouldn't even think. So it's like, that's kind of how I look at it. It's just kind of like learning, to really capitalize on what you want out of life and your talents and things like that. And so
absolutely, that's dope. You know what I mean? So now let's take it to the mind. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk about the mind, because the mind is very powerful. You know what I mean? The way we think, the way we go about certain things. You know what I'm saying? People don't really talk about that. You know what I mean? How strong is your mindset? You know what I mean? For you to go forward with this music stuff, and where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Like I said, bro, like, my mindset is everything happens for a reason, so I don't ever let anything kind of get me down.
Absolutely.
There's times where it's like, like I said, minor setback for a major comeback. So I might be my worst critic on a certain thing, and it's kind of like, all right, I did it this way. I'm gonna elevate, and I'm gonna do it differently this way. And it's all about experimenting, kind of figuring out what works for you. So the goal in 5 years is to be able to be doing this on a basis where it ain't too much effort. It's just on a roll.
Consistent.
It's a roll. It's like everything's already automated to the point where it's like, we've been busy. We've been staying busy. A show every week, or video shoot this week. Like right now, I'm kind of at that point where it's like, bro, I really got to get moving. COVID messed a lot of things up, but now it's like, bro, we already 2024, and that's no excuse. We really got to run this up. So, like I got this podcast today. I got a video. I got a show tomorrow at Firewater.
Hey, we might have to go fuck with these guys, man.
Firewater.
Real talk.
And then Saturday, I'm gonna be in the studio with my little homie. Sunday, I'm linking up with my homie Sky B. We're working on a little project. So, and we've been talking about that for a year, 2 years, and we ain't really locked in. So this Sunday, I'm gonna lock in with him, and then basically, like, this summer, I'm trying to have something done every weekend. Because if I'm not doing anything that weekend, it's like, bro, like, what are we doing?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? What are we
Absolutely.
doing? And so for me to be able to see myself in a situation where it's like, this is a regular basis thing, in 5 years, I need to start right now.
Oh,
you know?
hey. Man, hey, you fucking heard this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People that are actually trying to up and coming artists, man. Listen to this man, AJ from the Nine, man. This guy's not just talking, you know what I mean, from now. He hasn't just been in the business, you know what I mean, for a year or two. This guy's been in the business for a long time, and he's actually, you know what I mean, manipulating his craft to become a better rapper, become a better MC, become a better person. You know what I mean? So now what I want to touch base on is your albums, man.
Right.
And let's talk about, you know what I mean, 9 p.m. and 9 a.m., man. Let's talk about that, man. Let me know what is your favorite, you know what I'm saying, tracks on this, and what can you tell the people about these albums, man, so they can, you know what I'm saying, get excited about hearing them. You know what I'm saying?
So it really started when I started 9 p.m. I done Sounds from the Nine, more Sounds from the Nine. So those were my two projects. Sounds from the Nine came out right before COVID. I had a show with Chain Reaction. I had all this stuff planned out. COVID shut that down. So that entire year, I'm sitting there working on music, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just holding on to it. So 2021, we went ahead. I dropped like 30 songs.
Damn, bro. So you working, dog?
No, I do. Yeah. I think even because Sounds from the Nine was 30 songs, and I filled up the whole 80-minute tape. So the second one, it was just kind of like, I got all this music, let's formulate it down to another 80-minute project, put that out, 30 songs again. So then from there, it was just kind of getting that music off, because I was sitting on that music, and I was like, I really want to promote some of this, but it's like, let's see what we can just get to, because I need to jump on some new stuff, because a lot of that stuff was a lot of lo-fi type hip-hop, and those two albums kind of set the tone for 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. 9 p.m. really comes inspired from Sounds from the Nine. 9 a.m. kind of comes inspired from more Sounds from the Nine.
Nice.
So it was really me kind of doing those processes and those albums to kind of be able to be like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to make it more concise. Each album is 45 minutes. So dope. So each one is 45, 4 plus 5 is 9. Together it's a 9-minute tape. Each album has 18 songs. So there's the 9 right there. You know what I mean?
Dope. Hey, that's dope.
It's some numerology.
You put thought into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so my thing was, when I was doing shows with Six, I was realizing that there was only certain songs I was performing, and that's just because of the kind of shows that we were doing were kind of club function type music and stuff like that. So it was like, certain BPMs ain't gonna work in those environments. You know what I mean? The song might be good, but if you're not gonna perform a 60 BPM song where everybody's performing 90 BPM, 100 BPM, and stuff like that. So it was really me kind of just going back into it and be like, okay, I need an album for performances for me to be able to go out and really perform these records or whatever. So 9 p.m. was really more me just kind of just making slaps like all the way through, and it wasn't even just more. It was me working with Sky B, me working with Ghost. I was working with I got Protege on it. I got.
Is Ghost a producer or he's a rapper?
He's a producer.
Oh, he's a producer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ghost, man.
Yeah. Ghost actually did Vibe With You, which is probably one of my biggest songs right now.
Dope.
But yeah, that was kind of just me, just making sure I had like a commercial kind of vibe with it, without being too commercial. And then once I was done with that, it was kind of like I had stuff from Andrew, because Andrew still produces. Example, well, that was his whole name. He just go by Andrew Riley now. But he had some beats for me and stuff like that, and those kind of beats are more hip hop, lo-fi type feel. So it was more chill, laid back. So I was like, this doesn't really fit with 9 p.m. And Pro had hit me when we did the show at Club Blue. He had approached me with a song. He was like, bro, I got this idea for an interlude called AM to the PM. And so he had presented that to me, rapped his verse, gave me the hook. I was like, bro, that's hard. I was like, I already got a song called PM to the AM on here that Sky B produced, so I don't know if I could use that. I don't even know if this fits with the album, but that opened up the whole idea of me doing 9 a.m. So ideally, 9 p.m. was just going to be a one-off thing, but then I was like, okay, let's do this as like a double. Basically, it's going to be a double album. I'm going to end up re-releasing it on New Year's as a whole project with some new songs.
Dope.
But yeah, it was kind of me just going like, all right, I did this kind of music. I'm going to show a kind of reverse side of it. And then once we got into it, it was kind of like I had the second half of the album done, and it was like the first half, it was like I really needed, I still needed those upbeat type records, and so it was like, let me see how I could flip it to where it's like more of a brighter sound, so it's still a 90 and like a daytime vibe, where it's like you could turn up with this, you know what I mean, but it's still something that you could put on and this is what I do, because I stay out in Beaumont, I work in Rancho Cucamonga, so
Nice.
My drive is 45 minutes back and forth. You know?
Wow.
So I'll play 9 a.m. when I'm going to work, and then by the time I'm coming home from my second job late at night, I'm playing 9 p.m. on the way back, and so I'm playing the whole album throughout my commute.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one thing I wanted to bring out, is because I know a lot of people commute from from Inland Empire to LA, and that 45-minute drive, bro. Like, if you play my album from beginning to end, like you gonna get there.
Nice. Nice. So now let me ask you a question. What was the easiest song for you to put together on either album, and what was the hardest song for you to put together on either album?
Oh man, let me pull that up.
I have to ask those questions, man.
No, I like that.
We're promoting this, man. We're promoting this, man. The 9 p.m., 9 a.m., man. Dope ass concept. Make sure you fuck with my boy Jay from the 9, man. You know what I mean? True MC. A real hustler in this motherfucker, man. Fuck with him.
Coming from the 9 a.m. album, I feel like Good Girl Gone Bad was probably the hardest one to do, because...
Why so?
So Ghost had produced that, and that was actually recorded for 9 p.m. And so when I initially recorded it, so first off, he sent me the beat, and I'm just like, bro, that beat's hard. And he's like, he already had ideas of like who he was gonna send it to. I was like, bro, like I'm getting on this. This is something I'm getting on. And so I did my verses. I did the hook. I actually sang the hook originally. I got my homie Raheem Amir on it, but doing the hook. But originally I was doing the hook, and so it was kind of one of those things. Was like, I don't know if I really like the hook. Like, it's kind of like, it's cool, but I wanted something more. I can't really sing like that, so it's really auto-tuned out. And so I was like, we kind of held on to it for a minute, and I was like, I can't even put this on 9 p.m. because it don't even fit with the vibe. It's real bright, real like daytime vibe, and so I was like, all right. So that one kind of got put to the side for a while, and then it wasn't until like I kind of brought it back out, and then I was like, let me see if I can get Raheem on it. And so trying to coordinate us to get together and record that was one thing too. And then Ghost will vouch for this, is that he don't like the version of the beat that I use. Because he produced that, the one that he sent me wasn't even mixed and mastered right. That's according to him. Yeah. I think it sounds perfect. But according to him, he was like, nah, it wasn't even mixed and mastered right. And so when we went back to try to mix and master it, the beat was different. The beat was completely different. I was like, bro, like, I already upped the BPM on it. And even when we were trying to up the BPM, it just wasn't coming out right. I was like, bro, like, I gotta go with the original version, because it is what it is. Yeah. And so
I've done that.
Yeah. So I mean, there was some workarounds, but I mean, once it came out, and people, resonated with it. And so I think I hope Ghost is able to kind of like, put that to the side and be like, this is still a hard song. But I think Good Girl Gone Bad was probably the most challenging one on there, and it wasn't challenging to write. I don't think most of my songs are kind of challenging to write. It's kind of I'm only able to write when I'm inspired. So if I'm not, you know what I mean, that's just,
you won't come out with the best shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't try to force myself. There's certain times I do try to force myself out of writer's block.
Sometimes me too.
You got to do it sometimes. Yeah. But if I'm coming up with something and it's just, I think it's whatever, I'm scrapping the song. So I won't even record a song unless I'm happy with how I wrote it. And so most everything usually with each album I probably have a good like five or six songs that is like unreleased that I don't put on the album. But for this one, the majority of them made the album. I think Good Girl Gone Bad and maybe like one or two other songs, it's like some that didn't make 9 p.m. at first. And then as far as like 9 p.m., I think like probably the hardest song on there that I probably had to come up with was probably Work It Out.
Nice. Okay.
And so that was also produced by Ghost. I got Protege and 6 on it, but that was one of those things where it was a strip club banger. Like, you could tell this is for the strip club, and so it was something that I really was trying to figure out. Like, okay, how do I make this like how do I make the hook go? How do I make the you know what I mean? Like, it was just real experimental and a lot of auto tune and stuff like that. And so like for me, like I did it and I was just like, I like it, but I don't know if everyone else is gonna resonate with it. And so it wasn't until I want to say, was 6 even on that song when we performed it when they played it in the studio?
No, that was the.
I don't think he was on it yet.
No,
I don't think he was on it yet. Okay,
that was the second song.
So I still had open verses on it, and I was trying to get 6 and Pro on it, and they were kind of like, I don't know, this is kind of a strip club anthem, whatever. That's not the music that they make. So we were kind of like trying to broaden them out, like, be like, bro, get on this. We all getting on this. And so, yeah, they played it at his manager's house. His manager had a little party going on. They threw that on, and the girls were going wild on it. They had the stripper pole in there and stuff. So, like, they were going up and down the pole. And they were like, yeah, no, that one goes. And I was like, all right, cool. So, like, once that happened, then it was like, all right, they were on board. We got the record done. And then, you know, we're still planning on doing a video for that one, too.
Super sick, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to definitely elaborate, you know what I'm saying, on how many songs you have on each one.
So each one has 18 songs. 18
songs on each one.
Yeah, so,
dope.
And it was designed so that way, I don't even think we got it on vinyl. I think we'll probably end up doing that like next year, like when we re-release the album, maybe do a vinyl pressing with it. But vinyl pressing, it's a lot to.
I heard my boy Destruct was just here, and he was talking about that.
Because you gotta spend at least $1,200 for vinyl pressing, unless you're getting lath cuts, which I've done lath cuts before. Those are a little cheaper, but they're just, it's like plastic records, pretty much.
You want the original?
If you want actual vinyl. Those are going to cost you some money. But anyway, and then that's another thing too, is that these albums are designed to fit on a vinyl. However, there is some mastering techniques that you have to do to fit a 45 on a 45. You can't really. Ideally, people want 18 minutes on a per side. You can do 22. These are cutting at around 22 and a half, 23. So ideally, I wanted it to be able to fit on one vinyl. You're going to run into some problems with vinyl pressers. Some don't want to do that, but all you gotta do is kind of turn down the volume a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, ideally I wanted to be able to have this be able to be pressed on one vinyl, which for me, all my albums are 80-minute projects. Like nice. I came from the CD era, so I'm the type that I will fill up a whole CD before I put it out.
Like back in the day, right? 18 songs, 17 songs,
right?
Sometimes 22 songs, right? Remember?
I think the most I've done was the 30. The 30 was like even before that I think the most I did was like 25.
That's dope.
So and then before that I think it was like around 20, like maybe 20 to 25. All my albums have usually 20, 25. But yeah, so for this it was a whole different process for me to be able to concise my stuff down and be like, I'm not gonna fill up a whole album because realistically people are only gonna want to listen to a couple of those songs anyway. So unless you're really making each one a slapper, and so that's what I feel like I did with these ones. It's kind of like you could play this all the way through from beginning to end. I don't think it's too long. I think by the time you're kind of over it, it's already towards the beginning, and towards the end, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm gonna listen to it again because now it's over and it loops. The whole album loops, so you could just be driving and then it'll loop back, and you'll be like, oh crap,
this is dope.
Yeah.
Yo, make sure you guys get, 9 p.m., 9 a.m. from my boy AJ from the 9. You know what I mean? So now going forward, what other projects do you have and you're excited about putting out in the future? And what collaborations are you excited about? You know what I mean? That you collaborated with some people.
So, the first thing is that we're doing the 9 p.m., 9 a.m. re-release as a double album. So that's coming out probably on New Year's to commemorate the 9 p.m. release. That one's gonna have I actually have the other songs done. I got 3 other songs for it, which is a new intro, a new outro, and then something in the middle to link the albums together.
Absolutely.
So there's that. It's gonna be 39 songs total.
Damn.
So, but that's really because I got videos on 9 p.m. that I want to shoot. So. There's a lot of stuff on 9 p.m. I haven't really promoted to the fullest, and so me re-releasing that album is going to be able to have me go back and do videos for 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. together and kind of run that up all next year as well.
Dope.
But meanwhile, at this point, like I said,
you got a plan. You got a plan of what you want to do. Beautiful.
I'm always like that. Every time I'm done,
that's good, bro.
I'm already on something else.
That's good.
But me and Scott B are working on our own collab project, and so he's on the album. He did he's on 9 p.m. he's on She the Baddest and Dance for Me, and then on 9 a.m. he is on That's Your Girl, which was his record, but I was like, bro, we gotta put this out because I know you ain't gonna put nothing out. So I gotta get this feature on the album. So he was like, all right, yeah, let's run it up. So, but now he's in a mode where the kind of music that he's doing a lot of sampling. He's doing a lot of like chill, laid back, like just riding music, like currency type records. You know what I mean? And so that's what I was like, bro. Like we were gonna call the album Cloud 9 at one point, but that was back when
I like that
before he kind of came with this new sound, and I was like, once I heard that new sound, I was like, bro, that's drop top music right there. And so that's what we're working on right now. Is I'm about to link up on Sunday to kind of get it really started. But yeah, we're looking to drop that in the springtime next year, called Drop Top Music, which is a lot more chill, like just riding music. Dope. And then next summer, I'm hoping to have out my new album called 900 Degrees, which is going to be, it's pretty much going to follow the same format of the 9 p.m. 9 a.m. but it's going to be just 9 songs with some just crazy club type records, and then 9 just hard hip hop records. And so I think I found this formula, and hopefully I could really capitalize on that on 900 Degrees. And then meanwhile, I'm still doing other collab projects. I'm going to try to do a collab project with my longtime producer, Bando Beats, or Saul. We call him Saul. Saul X is what he used to go by back in the day. But he's going to be doing, and he did Late Nights in the 9 on 9 p.m.
Dope.
But we're going to link up. We're going to do a little, I don't know if it's going to be a whole album. It might just be an EP. And then I know my homie,
4 or 5 songs.
Yeah, and then my homie Raheem Amir, we've been trying to do a collab project since like 2008. So that's coming. That's definitely coming. We just really got to lock in. And then who else? Me and Ghost is going to eventually do a whole little project together too. I don't know if that's going to be the end of next year or the beginning of 2026.
But it's in the air.
It's up there. Me and Pro going to have one. And then hopefully around that time, by 2026, we're going to be doing the Black Kennedy album. So we got an album called, it's tentatively titled The Black Album. BLAQ. Q stands for quality, because if it ain't with a Q, it ain't ours. But that is definitely going to be something that we're all working on. As of right now, everyone's kind of doing their solo projects, so we're kind of just at this point where I'm the only one that's been kind of dropping consistently, and everyone's kind of like their last albums. I think 6 of the last album was like, 2021? Maybe even before that.
2018. I think 2018.
I like that. No, you're consistent.
Yeah.
I like the consistency. I like consistency.
Yeah, so basically we're just kind of like, I know they got to kind of come with their solo projects, just kind of amp it back up, be like, hey, we still doing this. And then once we amp that back up, then we're going to bring it back to the Black Album. And then from there, drop more solo projects. So we already have like the next 3 years already kind of lined up.
My boy Agent from the 9 is working, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so Agent from the 9, man, I got a question for you, man, because we all go through this. Dilemma where we kind of like, we don't get inspired. We're kind of like, kind of fucked up. Maybe don't think that we can continue with music because we don't get the, the feedback that we want. When you feel that way, what gets you out of that feeling, man? Because we all have it, where you're just like, man, should I continue?
I think it's also looking at who are you promoting? Like, okay, somebody told you that. Is there an audience actually for your music? Because I've done, those pay to play like type things where they will review your music and stuff like that. But if you really look at that, like, some of them, they're really just on there just to trash artists.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then there's other times where if you listen to the songs that people are resonating with, are you doing that kind of music? Because more than likely, it's only geared for that kind of music. So I know there's one that we did, and it was like a lot more just like Cali function type music, right? Which I got a couple records like that, but I was just like, oh, let me put Vibe With You up. And no disrespect to the DJ who was doing it, the DJ was vibing with it. He was like, nah, it was cool. But you see some of the comments, and some of them was just like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, this ain't it because it ain't for you. That's how I look at it. And then there are times where it's like, okay, maybe I could do this better. Maybe I could do this better or whatever, whatnot. I've never really gotten like a straight out like negative response where it's all negative. I think that is the biggest thing. Is like I look at like, okay, yeah, I had 2 people that say it was whatever, but I had these other 5 people that said, this was jumping. And so I think at the end of the day, you do got to look back at like who has resonated with your music, remember those people, understand that maybe you should be making music for those people. And then I don't know if there's any artists out there that's like, bro, I'm the only one that really likes my music, no one else is really messing with it. Alright, so I evaluate that. Evaluate like what are other people looking for in music, because everyone listens to music differently. Like for me, I like to ride around to my music. Like if I can't bump it in the car, it's not getting played. I love Eminem. I'm not riding around to Eminem. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm waiting. He's dropping tonight, so I'm gonna see what
He's dropping tonight.
He's dropping tonight.
Shit, okay.
So we're gonna see. I'm gonna see what
he's up to.
And like I've never heard like a super whack Eminem song, but it's just something that I'm just not. Back in the day, I used to listen to Eminem like crazy, right?
Marshall Mathers LP was my favorite, second album.
I actually like Slim Shady. Well, actually, no, Eminem Show was my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, like I just like, I mean, at the end of the day, what are you looking? How are you digesting your music? Another thing that a lot of people don't understand is people listen to music in the gym. They want to work out. Your music might be slow. Like you're telling me I'm not. I only listen to music when I'm working out. So if your music's too slow, I'm not going to be able to listen to it. So, and that's another thing too, is like that gym playlist might go into their car when they're riding home. That's all they really listen to is stuff to amp them up or whatever. So just kind of understand like audiences, who you're trying to target, and what kind of music you feel resonate with that audience, and just kind of learn how to tweak your music as you go.
That's dope, man. That's dope that you said that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are one-dimensional. They don't know how to take the feedback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people will be like, damn, okay, this motherfucker don't like my shit, man. I'm gonna quit rap. I'm not gonna fuck with it no more. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the case, man. You just have to, you know what I'm saying, take the criticism for what it is and keep moving forward, man. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the end of our podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? Jay from the 9, we talked about, you know what I mean, your upbringing. We talked about, you know what I mean, what got you into music. We talked about your albums, you know what I'm saying? 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Now, getting to the last end, man, what inspirational words do you have for the upcoming artists, man, that are coming up? They're going to watch you. They're going to be like, man, AJ from the 9 never gave up. I look up to him. You know what I'm saying? What inspirational words do you have for those people?
Like I said, bro, like it's just I treat everything, any setback, I treat as a minor setback for a major comeback. That's kind of just my motto, you know. Like I said, you know, everything happens for a reason. So if things aren't going your way, just know that the timing might not be right, bro. Like this, and I mean,
Super important.
I believe in, you know, God. I'm a Christian.
Me too.
To the extent of,
how big is God in your life?
I would say that I have full faith in God.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I live my life knowing that whatever happens, bro. Like whatever happens is meant to happen. That's just how I treat it. And that's one thing that I really look at is like, okay, something may happen, but how your reaction goes from that point is going to mold your path. And I think there's so many different paths that we get with each decision and things like that. It kind of branches off. And so just know that like whatever, the world doesn't stop for nobody. So if you gonna stop, everything's stopping for you. But nobody gonna stop for you, like at the end of the day. So you got to keep it moving. You got to keep going. And that little bump in the road, when you keep going and you find your way around that, you're gonna look back at that and be like, damn, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't be right here. Like, wait, hold up. That is an essential part to my story. Even though something happened and it kind of messed a lot of things up, it led to the point where I'm at today. And so that's kind of how I treat everything in life. I don't really take anything for granted.
That's dope, man. That's dope that you even said that, man. For people that are gonna look up to you, people that are, you know what I'm saying, gonna see this podcast, you know what I mean? This is set in stone, man. This is forever. You know what I mean? So when people fucking 20 years from now, you know what I mean, look at AJ from
I was telling Ghost that too. I was like, bro, like I'm like, and because the Ghost was like, what kind of questions are they gonna ask me? I'm like, bro, they're gonna ask me, you know, the basic questions like, where'd you come up, how'd you come up, things like that. I was like, that's just something I'm gonna have to answer until I'm a big artist name, like until I'm a worldwide household name, because everybody's learning who you are for the first time. So those kind of questions got to come, and I got to be able to answer those, and knowing that, like, yeah, like the way I answer it today, this is the true authentic self of me, so I'm gonna have the same answers going through. And so we kind of discussed that already. It was just like,
absolutely. You know what I mean? And we touched base on what AJ from the 9 is. You know what I mean? How he inspires people, which is the most important part, man. How he makes music, his albums. You know what I mean? How he never gave up throughout the time, throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He always believed in himself, which is the most important part. People will actually quit in the middle of their journey and not go forward and do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely applaud you, my boy AJ from the 9. Please check him out. You know what I'm saying? 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. You know what I mean? If you guys need to stop and kind of pause to actually, you know what I mean, click on his albums, please check him out. He's dope as fuck. My boy AJ from the 9. Any last words, my boy?
Nah, man. I think you pretty much said it all, man. But once again, like I go by name AJ from the 9. The 9 being the IE Inland Empire 909951. If you didn't know, now you know. I represent a group of young leaders called Black Kennedy. We're just trying to push a movement, build leadership and growth throughout the community through our music. And once again, that's Black Kennedy, BLAQ, because if it ain't with a Q, it ain't ours. That Q stands for quality, and that's always a priority in regards to what we do. So,
Coronau podcast, motivational podcast, West Coast Bar Service. We here, baby. AJ from the 9. Let's go. Dope as dope interview.